First oil drain on Sally. Here we go. Somebody used a little too many ugga duggas. Too many ugga duggas. It should not be that tight. Don't worry, I'm a professional. You see? Professional. Right side, there's no like lumps coming out or anything like that, like Neil. I would hope not. At just over 20,000 miles. Guy's letting her bog. Snug. No more than that. Here we go again. Round 2 of one too many ugga duggas on this car. I want to know who last did this oil change. I want to take this nut, shove it in their face. The threads are literally already stripped on a car with 20,000 miles on it and no rust. Kind of scared to try and take this oil filter out now. Not surprised. It was probably the Ford dealer that did that. Motorcraft oil filter. Just snug it up. No tighter than that. I mean, come on, this bolt holds a plastic shield up. No wonder I see cars driving around these days with their damn splash shields flopping around in the wind. I see it every day. I love that crinkling sound of the metallic sound of sand. But it's not stone, it's metal. Oh yeah. I mean, seriously, I very much do believe that the Ford dealership's the one that changed this oil. It's the last dealership it was at right before the last owner got it and wrecked the car. But I'm not going to point fingers, because this oil change was over a year ago too. And whoever did it, they probably don't have a job anymore. I hope they don't. That ain't going anywhere. I wonder if the reason why this oil fill goes right into the timing components, I wonder if they have something to do with the fact that the timing chain tensioners need oil pressure to function. And the first thing that gets it is them. I believe that's why they moved it here. Because on the modular motors, it's right in the middle of the valve cover. Well, I haven't actually looked at a 4-valve modular. This is technically a modular, but it's been heavily revised. I checked this earlier and this was a minor annoyance. Then again, the S550 was designed after this motor was designed. Plus they changed the valve cover setup and the heads in between the Gen 1 and Gen 2 motors. I know the old 2.46, it's right here. Would have cleared that perfectly. Wow, this is one clean motor. I don't know why that's reading low. I put 8 quarts in. I'm gonna start it up, circulate it, and then I'll check again. Give it a little prime. See anything leaking, that's a good sign. Especially since the oil filter was over tightened a little bit. wasn't too bad. I think Neil was the worst. Taking that one off took literally bending the casing. Upon further thought, with how low this car sits, I think it's literally because the car sits really low. And if you look at the angle she's listing at, ignore the mess on the bumper. This car is a legit bug magnet. That sounded brutal. Okay, it's definitely full, but this is a clean motor. It's like Big Bertha's motor. Oil looks like water. One thing I love about this car is I can grain shift it and it's extremely quiet. It is missing both mufflers, has an X-pipe. And while I was down there, I noticed that this car came with shorty header stock. Oh, we had 30 pounds at idle. Pretty good. Let's see what it's like when we get warmed up. It's the reason why I wanted to change this oil. Because I was highly suspicious of when it was last changed. And judging by the history on this car, it was changed by the last Ford dealership that it was at right before the car was totaled by the last owner. They're the ones that, did all the, ugga duggas down there. Too many ugga duggas. Now, the second reason why I changed the oil in this is because this weekend I'm actually going to Cleetus and Cars Indy. And I'm taking this and I want to run it down the drag strip. I have no clue what it's going to run, but I figured on the way down there I'm going to run into some cars and go through Mexico on the way down there. And I'm going to run into some cars, probably going to end up beating on the car real hard. And then we're just going to take it down the drag strip. We're going to put a lot of miles on her. This car's going to get a lot of miles on her. This car drives so amazing. We're going to be putting so many miles on this car. This car's not used to it. If you guys are new to this channel, this car never really saw miles throughout its whole life. Oh, I'm changing that. And that's 60 miles an hour around this curve. The car wasn't even struggling. It's me that's limiting it, not the car. I just know when to limit myself in a curve or a corner. I know the car can do it, it's if I can do it, The last guy probably didn't know his limit, or he didn't know how to, slowly push the car harder and harder each time to learn it. It's what you're supposed to do. You have to learn the car. I put almost a little over 2,000 miles on this car already, and I've learned it a lot, and I'm still learning it. It takes a lot longer than that. You need seat time. I just love how you can merge on the highways in overdrive. Quarter throttle, not even quarter throttle. Love this car. I feel like all cars should be like this. Overpowered and lightweight. Rear-wheel drive. I hope Ford never stops making a manual V8 coupe like this. They're obviously never going to stop the Mustang in general, but those tail lights. Who would have thought we'd find another panther on the road? That was very random. There he is right here. This car's trying to be like Neil, not honking. Man, if Big Bertha's frame was solid, I'd put exhaust on her. That sounded amazing. I'll be honest with you guys, I've been pretty depressed. Things have been pretty much getting worse. There's one thing that gives me motivation to keep going. That is this hobby. This hobby literally is what I live for. It's the one thing that's keeping me, you know, here. I'll leave it at that. It keeps me going. I love cars. I like the car community for the most part. There's a lot of rotten eggs in it. Also a lot of good people. I hope to meet some good people down the road. I'm hoping this YouTube channel, you know, goes into something. I hope it blows up eventually. Because this is a lifestyle I would want to live. I could work on cars every day and never get bored. I could drive them every day and never get bored. It's literally a lifestyle that I want to live. It's my dream. Anyways, this trip this weekend is going to be a taste of that dream. I had 20 at idle. She's good.